spend some time with the kids, with family. Obviously, this is another different Saturday as we've had over the past few weeks. We need you to continue to stay home. We need you to continue to do everything we can to flatten the curve. Obviously, there are sacrifices we're all making, but it's beginning to work. We see promising news out of BC that over the past couple of weeks, the measures taken in place by so many Canadians, the choices that Canadians have made have had an impact on the overall numbers, but we need to keep it up. We need to continue to do what is necessary to prevent the spread of COVID-19, which means continuing social distancing, continuing to not go out unless you absolutely have to, continuing to think about caring for each other, thinking about protecting each other, and thinking about protecting our healthcare workers and those essential workers who are doing such extraordinary service to keep things going, to keep us safe at the same time. C'est une responsabilité que nous partageons tous.
This is a responsibility that we all have, to stay home and to do everything we can to prevent any extension of this pandemic or it hurting other people. Here on this beautiful Saturday, we should all be staying home in isolation and not be taking any steps that might put at danger our healthcare workers or our loved ones. But as you know, we have been encouraging people to stay home, particularly if they have symptoms of COVID-19.
Particularly if you feel the onset of symptoms of a cold, of COVID-19, you need to stay home. You need to isolate. You need to not travel. People have been following that, but I can enhance that we have formalized some of the domestic travel rules. As of Monday at noon, people showing any signs whatsoever of COVID-19 will be denied boarding on all domestic flights and intercity passenger trains. Today,
I am announcing that Transport Canada has introduced new rules for travel. Obviously, we've been saying for a long time that if you have any symptoms of COVID-19, you must not travel, you must stay home. But starting now, or rather starting on Monday at noon, if people try to travel by plane or through domestic means or by train, they will not be allowed to board if they have any symptoms whatsoever of COVID-19. We must continue to keep a safe distance from each other. We must continue to protect ourselves, and we must continue to make the responsible decisions. Again, I want to thank the millions and millions of Canadians who are doing precisely that. It's extremely important so that we can all stay safe and so that we can ensure that when this crisis is over, we can go back to a normal life and continue to have a prosperous and healthy country. But it requires that everyone do their share now and in the coming days and weeks. Last night, I had an opportunity to do something that I love to do. I was able to spend some time with members of my youth council. And for me, spending time with young people, even if it's through audiovisual means, it's great because it gives me energy and it helps me to realize just how much young people are involved. I was with Minister Bartosz Chagger and two parliamentary secretaries, Darren Fisher and Adam Vaughan, and we had an open discussion with young people from the council right across the country. I was able to have with the young people on the Prime Minister's Youth Council last night were extraordinary. Obviously, lots of questions and comments around COVID-19 and vulnerable populations from the north to internet access and broadband access for rural communities, questions about what young people can do, questions around what they can tell their friends who are doing well or not doing well, conversations about mental health as well, because obviously this is a moment of anxiety and stress for so many people. This was a great conversation, like so many of the great conversations being had amongst Canadians across the country.
Our young people, specifically, we've been counting on them over the past years to continue to step up in the fight against climate change, in the fight against poverty, in supporting a better world internationally and at home. And we continue to need young people to be that vehicle for building a better future and sharing messages. Obviously, young people, like every generation, are chafing at the bit in terms of having to be self-isolated, particularly at a time when we tell our young people at an age where we say, now is the time to go out and discover the world, whether it's with a backpack or in a laboratory. Make new discoveries, challenge yourselves, challenge the world. And they're looking at their plans for the spring and their summer jobs, and they're realizing that there is a massive anxiety and a massive uncertainty out there. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. Doesn't mean they're powerless. On the contrary, this generation of young people is so committed and engaged to creating a better world that we need you to keep leading the way you are. We need you to share your messages with friends. We need you to lead by example. We need you to be challenging and discovering the world in virtual ways. There are ways that you can continue to shape the future we all live in every single day, not just with your choices, but with your leadership. And that's what we need.
We need our young people to continue to challenge the world, to continue to push people to do what is possible, and to want to be the leaders that we need. And during these times of crisis, we need that even more. So I'm counting on you, and I know that the present and the future are in very good hands with our young people. We are going to be there for you. As young people, we know that there are many out there who may not qualify for the emergency benefit. Others will be supported through their businesses if they work part-time as a result of the assistance we're providing to PMEs. But we will continue to find other ways to ensure that you remain confident not only about the future, the present, but about the future as well.
Yes, young people who will, many of them qualify for the CERB and be helped through the payroll subsidy that the wage subsidy we're creating for businesses and bringing up to 75%. But there's always going to be more to do, and we're going to keep listening and looking how we can make sure that Canadians get through this in the best possible way by supporting them now and ensuring that we can roar back stronger once this is all done. That's why we put forward big measures to help businesses over the past few days. Increasing the wage subsidy to 75% means businesses across the country are now realizing they're going to be able to keep people on their payroll, keep that relationship going between them and their workers. And even rehire people who they didn't think they'd be able to support over the past 2 weeks. We know that what we do now to hold things together, to give people the ability to stay home, to isolate, to hold through this difficult time is key to how we will come back stronger afterwards. But we need to stick together, and we need to do it. On a besoin
We need to look at everything we can do, every one of us, to come through these difficult times. And that's why we provided assistance to small and medium-sized businesses. We are also facilitating access to credit. Cash flow will be very important for people these days in order to borrow money, for example, if they need. And we've made loans of $40,000 available, interest-free for the first year. And you will not have to pay $10,000 of that if certain conditions are met. So we will be working together to ensure that we have the ability to come through this. Our plan of $107 billion was passed by Parliament, and we are going to be starting to deliver that aid to Canadians, and Canadians are anxious to receive it. But we're working as fast as we can, as hard as we can, to deliver that to Canadians as soon as possible. This is an unprecedented situation, but that's exactly what we're going to do together. The Canadian Emergency Response Benefit will provide $2,000 every month for the next 4 months to Canadians. And I'm inviting you now to apply on Mon Dossier, Revenue Canada, so that you can apply as soon as the portal is open in the next few days. And if you can, register as well with direct deposit so that the money is put directly into your bank account.
Canada Emergency Response Benefit will give people $2,000 every month for the next 4 months to help get us through this time. I know an awful lot of people have showed interest in it already. My recommendation to you is to go on the Canada Revenue Agency site and sign up in advance through the My Account links. Once you do that, in the coming days when we're able to start actually opening applications, you'll have a head start. And if you can, please opt for the direct deposit option, which will let you get this money into your bank accounts sooner and is simpler for everyone as well. There are lots of things that we're doing to make sure that we get through this together. But everything we do, we need to do together. Every single individual, every single household has its role to play in making sure that Canada and Canadians do well through this. We also have a role to play in making sure that the world gets through this, both by modeling solutions and demonstrating what can be done when we all work together. This is going to be key, particularly as parts of the world that are much more vulnerable are beginning to get harder hit. We need to be able to get through this so we can help rebuild a world in which people can prosper and everyone has a real and fair chance to succeed. I know Canadians are up to this challenge. I know we're going to do this together. J'ai énormément confiance dans les Canadiens.
I have a great deal of confidence in Canadians and our ability to come through this because we do what we always have to do in these difficult